Once again, happy morning to everyone. In our last video, we discussed Unit 2 quantum mechanical model of the atom. In that video, we discussed what are the introduction to the atom models. The scientists who are on to propose the model for the atom. In that video, we discussed what about the Democritus model followed by John Dalton atomic theory. Then we discuss what about the J.J. Thomson atomic model. After that, we discussed what about the Rutherford atomic theory. In the Rutherford atomic theory, it fails to explain stability of the atom and what about the distribution of electron and energy level of the atom. Due to that, the model will be failure. Now, in this session, we will see about what about the Rutherford atomic model, otherwise Rutherford model atomic theory. Before going to the topic, already learned what is Bohr's atomic model or Bohr's atomic theory, otherwise called as modern atomic theory in our lower classes. Niels Bohr presented his atomic model retaining the basic idea of Rutherford model. Now we see the important aspects or the important assumptions, otherwise the important postulates of Bohr's atomic theory. The first one, electrons revolve around the nucleus in definite closed circular paths called orbits. Each orbit is associated with a definite amount of energy, therefore also called as energy levels. These orbits or energy levels are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. or K, L, M, N from the inside onwards. They are also called as principal quantum number. It can be represented by a N. The bigger orbit, it has greater energy. Fourth one, more than one energy levels are possible for an electron. However, as long as an electron is in an energy level, its energy remains constant. When an electron gains energy, it jumps from lower level to higher level. Otherwise, when it jumps back from higher energy level to lower level, it loses energy in the form of light. The energy released daily can be calculated by daily, which is equal to the energy of high energy level orbits minus the energy of lower energy level orbits, which is equal to E photon because of the energy losses in the form of light. So this considers a E photon, which is equal to h nu. Here h is nothing but h is Planck constant. What is the value for that? 6.626 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second inverse. Here nu is nothing but the V symbol is called as nu. Nu is called as the frequency of light emitted. How much light can be emitted in the form of frequency. So these assumptions are already studied in the lower sections. Now we will see the Niels Bohr assumption for atomic model. Niels Bohr proposed a new atomic model for the hydrogen atom. The first one, the energy of electron in an atom are quantized. What is the meaning of quantized? Is a definite value. ஒவ்வொரு எலக்ட்ரானுக்கும் ஒரு definite value இருக்கும். The second one, the electron is revolving around the nucleus in a certain fixed circular path called stationary orbit. Third one, electron can revolve only in those orbits in which the angular momentum mvr of the electron must be equal to an integral multiples of h divided by 2 pi. So mvr which is equal to nh divided by 2 pi. Here n is principal quantum number, where the electron present in the orbit, either first orbit, second orbit, third orbit or fourth orbit. Likewise, you can say if it is present in the first orbit, you can refer as a K shell. If it is present in the second orbit, it is called as a L shell. Then third orbit, M shell, fourth orbit, N shell. So here N is nothing but a principal quantum number. What is the angular momentum? If the particle can take space, the circular motion, that is called as a angular momentum. இங்க என்ன சொல்றோம்னாக்கா எலக்ட்ரான் ஒரு பர்టిక్యులர் ஆர்பிட்ல ரிவால்வ் ஆயிருக்கும். அப்படி ஆகும்போது அது ரிவால்வ் ஆகும்போது அதோட ஆங்குலர் மொமெண்டம் எதுக்கு ஈக்குவலா இருக்கும்? It will be equal to the integral multiples of h divided by 2 pi. That's why you are saying mvr which is equal to nh divided by 2 pi. Then fourth one, as long as an electron revolves in the fixed stationary orbit, it does not lose its energy. However, an electron jumps from higher energy level to lower energy level, there is excess energy emitted as a radiation. இங்க என்ன சொல்றானாக்கா எலக்ட்ரான் ஒரு பர்టిక్యులர் ஆர்பிட்ல எனக்கு வந்து ஸ்டேஷனரி ஆர்பிட்ல எனக்கு ரிவால்வ் ஆகும்போது it does not lose the energy. However, if the electron can be jumps from higher level to lower level, the extra energies can be emitted as a radiation. Here, the energy level is called as E2, the low energy level is called as E1. The frequency of the emitted radiation is E2 minus E1 is equal to h nu. Because of the energy can be emitted in the form of light. So light can be calculated based on the photon. That's why we are saying E2 minus E1 is equal to h nu. Therefore, the frequency of emitted radiation which is equal to nu which is equal to E2 minus E1 divided by h. So based on the formula, you can calculate how much energy can be emitted. What is the frequency of the energy? What is the frequency of the light? We can calculate based on the formula nu which is equal to E2 minus E1 divided by h. We know that h is nothing but Planck constant. What is the value for that? 6.626 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second inverse. That's all about the important postulates of Bohr's atomic theory. Applying Bohr's postulates to a hydrogen like atom, nothing but one electron species such as hydrogen, helium plus, lithium plus, etc. The radius of the nth orbit and the energy of the electron revolving in the nth orbit were derived. We can calculate what about the radius of the orbit, what about the energy of the particular orbit based on the Bohr's postulates. Now, what is the radius of nth orbit? Rn which is equal to 0.529 into n square divided by z Armstrong. Here n is principal quantum number. What is the principal quantum number? Is a number of orbit where the electrons are present in an orbit, that is called a n. Here that is nothing but atomic number. Here the radius can be expressed in terms of Armstrong. Next, what about the energy of the electron in nth orbit? En which is equal to minus 13.6 z square divided by n square in terms of electron volt atom inverse. So here z is atomic number, n is the principal quantum number. At the same time, you can calculate the energy of the nth orbit in terms of kilojoule mole inverse, En which is equal to minus 1312.8 z square divided by n square kilojoule mole inverse. By applying Bohr's postulates, you can calculate the radius of the nth orbit, as like you can calculate the energy of electron in nth orbit in terms of electron volt and as well as kilojoule mole inverse. The Bohr's atomic theory also has some limitation. We will see now what about the limitation of Bohr's atom model. The first one, the Bohr's atom model is applicable only to species having one electron, such as hydrogen, helium plus, lithium 2 plus, etc. Does not applicable to multi-electron atoms. Second one, it was unable to explain the Zeeman effect and Stark effect. What is the Zeeman effect? The splitting of spectral lines in the presence of magnetic field called as Zeeman effect. What is Stark effect? The splitting of spectral lines in the presence of electric field, that is called as a Stark effect. Now we will see the Zeeman effect versus Stark effect. Zeeman effect describes the splitting of spectral lines of an atom in the presence of strong magnetic field. The Stark effect is the splitting of spectral lines observed when the radiating atoms, ions or molecules are subjected to a strong electric field. Zeeman effect can be observed in an applied magnetic field. The Stark effect can be observed in an applied electric field. The Zeeman effect results of the interaction between the magnetic moment of atom and external magnetic field. The Stark effect arises due to the interaction between the electric moment of the atom and the external magnetic field. So this is called as Zeeman effect and Stark effect. Simply you can say Zeeman effect is nothing but the splitting of spectral lines in the presence of magnetic field called as Zeeman effect. The Stark effect nothing but the splitting of spectral lines in the presence of electric field is called as Stark effect. Finally, Bohr's theory was unable to explain the electron is restricted to revolve around the nucleus in a fixed orbit in which angular moment of electron which is equal to nh divided by 2 pi. So now only discussed the angular momentum which is equal to the integral multiples of h divided by 2 pi. Thus we are seeing MER angular momentum, MER which is equal to nh divided by 2 pi. இங்கே போஸ் என்ன பண்ணாருனாக்கா, he cannot be explained the logical proof for MER which is equal to NH divided by 2 pi. So this is the main limitation of Bose theory. The logical answer for MER, which is equal to NH divided by 2 pi, was provided by Louis de Broglie. So in the Bose theory limitations எல்லாமே யார் வந்து fulfill பண்ணா? Louis de Broglie. So we'll see on next class what is the de Broglie, what about the de Broglie equation, what is the application of de Broglie equation. In this session we have discussed what about the Bose atomic theory, what about the limitation of that. That's all about the today's session. We will see you on next class.